Signal, Drexler, Mike. Area was shot. Reaction now.
And welcome to NewsCenter at 9:30. I'm Casey Kowalt.
And I'm Chad Walling. Now for the latest in Afghanistan, sources say Marines have landed in the country. The Pentagon says 5 members of a U.S. Special Operations Force are seriously injured. A U.S. airstrike intending to stop an uprising of Taliban fighters at a prison near the northern city of Mazar-e-Sharif landed near their soldiers on Sunday. The Pentagon describes the injuries as serious but not life-threatening. Anti-Taliban forces assisted by U.S. troops continued their attempt to abolish the revolt again today.
What comes after the Taliban is a question on the minds of many in Afghanistan, but they may have an answer soon. Tomorrow, representatives from various Afghan groups will gather in Germany to begin the difficult task of developing an interim government, a government that is expected to step in after the fall of the Taliban. The discussions are being held in Bonn under the supervision of the United Nations and are expected to last up to 2 weeks. UN officials are hopeful discussions will yield agreement on the framework for a security force in a country shattered after 23 years of war.
And the countdown begins tonight for the first space shuttle mission since the September 11th attacks. Security is tight at Kennedy Space Center. The Endeavour crew arrived Sunday, flanked by SWAT team members. Only a small crowd of journalists and shuttle managers were allowed to greet them. The Endeavour is scheduled to lift off Thursday. It will carry a new crew to the International Space Station and bring back the American and 2 Russians currently on board.
Yes, our economy is in a recession, one that started 6 months ago. The National Bureau of Economic Research, which consists of a panel of economists that are considered authorities on the subject, says the economy's downfall in numbers began in March, months before the September terror attacks. Boeing aerospace manufacturing giant is getting ready for another round of layoffs. Today, the company announced plans to cut 2,900 jobs. And as Arturo Santiago reports, more than half are Boeing commercial airplane workers in the Puget Sound area.
Boeing employees arrived for work early this morning with the knowledge that layoff notices are being handed out.
Morale's real bad in the shop, and we're all just waiting for the inevitable.
I've been here 15 years. Who knows? You could be here 20-some years and lose your job. I mean, it's kind of pathetic, really.
2,900 60-day layoff notices are being distributed today, 1,900 here in the Puget Sound. About 1,100 of those in the Puget Sound are machinists, around 400 are engineers, another 400 are non-union workers. SPIA, the engineers union, doesn't like the way the company is handling the layoffs and says it could have done things differently.
To talk to people more candidly early on exactly about what was happening, what was going to be done and why, and also to speak candidly about where we think we're going to be in the future with regard to a company. Is this a dip that we're just going down, or are we coming back in the future?
As workers continue to show up for work in Renton, some tell me workers are putting on a brave face, but some are giving up.
I think that everybody's pulling their own weight, just going about their business, and, you know, if it comes, it comes. If it doesn't, well, then so much the better. But
there may have been words some time ago when people thought, well, maybe it'll get better and we'll come back. But there's a lot of people that don't want anything to do with it after this is the last time.
Others already got their notices in the first round.
You know, we're trying to help each other with jobs. We're looking out for each other. And that's about all we can do for each other right now.
And the scare of anthrax is now an international threat. The discovery of white powder aboard commercial Varig Flight 8632 en route to the Brazilian city of Porto Alegre put Buenos Aires Airport in a state of emergency today. The 86 passengers are currently in an isolated area until a judge determines how to proceed. Authorities say the powder has been taken to the Malvern Institute for analysis.
A Massachusetts research company is the first to clone the first human embryo. Advanced Cell Technology says the cloning development is aimed at producing genetically matched replacement cells for patients with a wide range of diseases. But after they announced the news yesterday, many religious and political leaders protested, including U.S. Senator Richard Lugar. Lugar says the Senate should take its time and seek more information on this complex development than is available from the first report. President Bush is staying firm on his view of cloning.
The use of embryos to clone is wrong. We should not, as a society, grow life to destroy it.
Several states, including California, have banned human cloning, and Congress is considering such a ban. So Milan, it's kind of wet out there tonight. We got that rain that was expected.
Yep, the rain is definitely coming in now, and it's going to continue to up until about Friday. But for tonight, look at that. We'll be having some rain with a low of 48 degrees, and our winds will be southeast at 10 miles per hour. But I'll have your complete forecast in a few.
Okay, thanks. And now for tomorrow's headlines tonight. Ball State football coach Bill Lynch resigned his contract today. Also find out what the Muncie mission did for the Thanksgiving holiday. Also, a group on campus tonight spoke about diversity. Read these stories and more in tomorrow's edition of the Ball State Daily News.
And officials say an Indiana State trooper may have wrongfully shot a man. The problem started when the officer pulled a man over for a traffic violation in Fort Wayne. A Roanoke man pulled something out of his pocket, pointed it at the trooper, and then ran towards him. The trooper then shot the man once in the head. They later discovered that the object in the man's hand was a cell phone. The officer is on administrative leave while police investigate the incident.
A Lebanon man is in critical condition today after the chemicals he was using to make methamphetamines exploding, causing second-degree burns over most of his body. 23-year-old Matt Clark was transported to an Indianapolis hospital earlier today after he was found in an apartment complex. A member of the Boone County Task Force says 4 children, all under the age of 10, were present at the time of the explosion, though none of the children were injured. Boone County Prosecuting Attorney John Buchanan says that if Clark survives, he faces charges of manufacturing, dealing, and possession of a controlled substance.
And the Hamilton County Sheriff's Department has decided to equip prison guards with pepper spray starting January 1st. The decision follows the beating of 2 prison guards during an escape in central Indiana. The escape of 4 teens on November 19th has left guard Ann Davidson of Anderson hospitalized and in fair condition. Officer Toby Warner of Elwood was released from the hospital shortly after the attack. The 4 escapees were apprehended.
Economists predict that Indiana will take in at least $1 billion less in revenue than previously projected. Governor Frank O'Bannon has proposed a plan to pull Indiana out of what he calls a budget crisis. Those against the plan say it could delay building repairs on college campuses while students and parents pay higher tuition. Universities would lose $29 million in operating money in 2002-2003 under O'Bannon's plan. But some lawmakers question whether O'Bannon can cut university funding without legislative approval. WCRH in Indianapolis is reporting that an executive assistant to Governor O'Bannon has resigned because of a pending bingo corruption investigation. Channel 13 cited unnamed sources that said a grand jury is exploring Addison Simpson's ties to the suspects of a bingo investigation. An O'Bannon spokeswoman says Simpson's resignation is not related to the bingo scandal. Several men are suspected to have stolen money from the Indianapolis bingo parlors, money that should have gone to charities. The scheme is believed to have cost those charities $3.5 million. When NewsCenter at 9:30 continues, a situation could have turned deadly for some students. We'll let you know what happened.
Also, storms ripped through the southern states this weekend. See what damage Alabama suffered, and Milan will be in with your weather. Stay tuned.
As far as the damage goes, it's at this moment.
And a girl who gave birth at a prom 3 years ago and then killed her newborn son is released from prison. Melissa Drexler served 3 years of her 15-year sentence for aggravated manslaughter. We have more on this story from affiliate WABC.
This is the family home in Lacey Township where they have waited for 3 years for Melissa Drexler to be granted her parole. She is being released early, serving 37 months of a 15-year sentence for killing her baby at the 1997 Lacey High School prom. The then 18-year-old pleaded guilty to aggravated assault for disposing of her newborn in a bathroom garbage can.
I'm really truly sorry for what I've done. Okay?
She had concealed her pregnancy from her family, friends, and boyfriend. Her attorney says she has expressed remorse for her actions many times, but never gave a detailed rationale for killing the baby. While prosecutors opposed her release, they acknowledge she is not a threat to society. Drexler spent the past 3 years in prison, studying fashion courses and hopes for a career in that industry.
A 17-year-old high school student in Massachusetts was arraigned this morning on charges he and others plan to stage a deadly Columbine-like assault on their school. 17-year-old Eric McKeon and two 15-year-olds are facing charges including conspiracy to commit murder and possession of ammunition. Police say the plot was uncovered after a school janitor discovered a letter detailing a plan to kill other students at New Bedford High School. All three are being held without bond after pleading innocent today.
Authorities say a man opened fire and killed two people inside a restaurant Sunday. 57-year-old Thomas Schutz killed his wife, the restaurant owner, and injured a cashier working at the Jimbo's drive-in. Schutz later took his own life, and the cashier is listed in stable condition.
A trio of accused bank robbers led police on a chase across 2 states today. Police say the suspects started out in Hernando, Mississippi. They then hopped onto I-55, traded a stolen car for another vehicle, then wrecked at an exit in Memphis, Tennessee. That is the little information available at this time.
And 4 people were killed after tornadoes touched down in the city of Haleyville, Alabama. According to a local meteorologist, the National Weather Service was not able to warn residents because the storm appeared weak on radar. The twister registered an F2 and stayed on the ground for about 2 minutes. The American Red Cross and the Salvation Army sent disaster assistance teams to Haleyville and other storm-ravaged parts
at this moment, it looks like
of Alabama. And students in Salt Lake City, Utah got an extended Thanksgiving holiday weekend thanks to Mother Nature. A powerful storm dumped several inches of snow, closing several schools. The snow did benefit 4 ski resorts in the area, allowing them to finally open for the year. The system could bring the first snowfall to portions of the Midwest. And I don't know about you, Milan, but I hope that we don't get that snow.
Me too, but we're not going to get that snow, so that's out of the question. But we are going to get the rain, but I'll have your complete forecast right after the break. We had another above normal day, getting up to 56 degrees. Our normal high is 45 degrees, so you can see how we are above normal. Our low this morning was set at 32 degrees, which meaning we are above normal for our low as well. Now, as we take a look at our highs around Indiana, we see South Bend got up to 50, Fort Wayne also 50, Muncie 56, Indianapolis 57, and Evansville topped off the map, getting up to 63 degrees. Now, as we take a look at what's going on right now, look at that. Currently, we have some showers out there, and that is our story for tonight, leading it to up until like Friday, when the showers will end. Our temperature right now is at 50 degrees. Now, as we take a look at the satellite here, we see that we have a lot of cloud cover over the U.S., and that's because of this low pressure system that we have dominating the central part of the U.S., and this has been moving from the western part over to the central part, and that's where it is right now. And as we take a look at that radar coming up, we can see that we have a lot of snow in North Dakota, South Dakota, stretching over to Wisconsin, and we have some rain from Wisconsin stretching down to our area in Indiana, and that is the rain that we are seeing right now. We'll continue to see overnight. Now, as we zoom in, we can see how this rain is stretching and how it is affecting us right now and how it is moving more to the southeast. Now, as we take a look at what's going on tonight, we can see this low pressure system, what I was talking about, and how it's moving more southeast, and right along this frontal boundary is where we are getting the rain. Now, right behind it, we're going to have some tad bit cooler temperatures, but not really cooler. But as we take a look at what actually is going on for tonight, we can see that we'll be in the 30s. So it's just about what we've been seeing for overnight lows. Now, as we take a look at tonight, look at that rain, and we do have some thunderstorms that are possible after midnight with a low of 48 degrees, and our winds will be southeast at 10 miles per hour. Now, tomorrow morning when you wake up, you're going to be waking up to just a rainy morning with a temperature of 53. So we see we are above normal. We'll just be a comfortable but mild and muggy morning tomorrow with our winds southwest at 10 miles per hour. Now, as we take a look at that front, we see how that front is moving southeast, and right behind it, we're still going to be underneath that rain, and that rain is going to continue to be in our area up until Friday, when we are going to be clearing out and we will have some partly cloudy skies. Now, as we take a look at for our highs, we see that we're ranging from the 20s up in the central part of the U.S. down to the 70s in Texas. Now, our area will be experiencing some 50s for tomorrow for our highs. So just a beautiful day tomorrow. But we do have the rain, so we have to take into account that. So bring your umbrellas tomorrow, but we are going to be having some nice temperatures. Now tomorrow, look at that. The rain will continue, and we will have a high of 58 degrees with our winds northwest at 10 miles per hour. Now, as we take a look at what's going on for our 3-day, take a look at that rain on Wednesday, Thursday, but Friday, look, partly cloudy skies, and our temperatures are ranging Wednesday, 49 degrees, Thursday, 53, and on Friday, we'll be experiencing some 54 temperatures. So we do cool down just a tad bit, but by Friday, we warm up to 54. So that's something to look forward to. We can just get past this rain. We have a nice weekend in store for us.
No sign of snow yet, huh?
No sign of snow. We can just count that out. Don't bring it up because you know how you are.
Thanks, Milan.
You're welcome.
And quite a bit of national attention with our basketball team. Is that right?
That's right. It's about time. You know, we're finally getting some respect from the Associated Press and actually the coaches poll. I'll take a look at where we're at in the rankings in both the coaches polls and the AP poll when NewsCenter 43 Sports returns. Welcome back. And unless you've been living under a rock or don't own a television, you probably know about Patrick Jackson and the Ball State basketball team. Their run at the Maui Invitational rearranged the tournament, and today the Cards busted onto the national scene. The Associated Press rewarded the Cards with a spot at number 16 in their rankings. The last time the Cards were ranked, Bonzi Wells was still in middle school, so it's been a while. Ball State also dropped UCLA 6 spots to number 10 after destroying the Bruins 91-73, while Kansas joined the landslide, falling 5 spots to number 8. And there may not have been a title on the line for the Ball State football team on Saturday, but pride and possibly the job of a certain head coach were up for grabs in Kalamazoo. A win over Western Michigan would give Ball State a 3-way share of the MAC West title, but in typical Cardinal style, they needed all 4 quarters to pull out the victory. After the Broncos scored on a 22-yard pass to take a 31-28 lead with a little over 5 minutes to play, Ball State went 65 yards in just 4 plays for the game-winning score. The Cards take a piece of the MAC West title 35-31. BSU finished 4-1 in their division and 5-6 overall. Marcus Merriweather also became Ball State's new single-season rushing record holder with 1,244 yards. And athletic director Andrea Seeger said her goal for the football team this season was a MAC West Division title. So with that accomplished, Seeger today announced head coach Bill Lynch will live another day. Actually, another 2 years. The coach's contract will now run through January of 2004. Lynch completed his 7th season as Cardinals head coach this year, guiding the team to their 5th straight overall losing season. But a 4-1 mark in the MAC West and a 4-3 overall conference record tend to overshadow that just a little. Not to mention the 24-20 upset over nationally ranked Toledo, which entered that game ranked 23rd. And the Delta Eagles made their first appearance in a state championship football game this weekend as they took on the winningest coach in Indiana high school football history and the Jasper Wildcats for the 4A crown. Joey Lynch, hungry for a state title, took in Coach Grant Zagunda's pregame inspiration. If we could roll those highlights. There's Joey Lynch taking in Coach Grant Zagunda's pregame inspiration.
We have to be ready to go out there and play 4 quarters of chin-on-chin football the way we've been playing all year long so that we can bring home a big old trophy for Delta High School.
And Delta would need all 4 quarters to try and bring home that trophy as Joey Lynch finds Antoine Amerson game tied up at 7, but Delta would get no closer. The toss just killed Delta's defense all day. There's Jasper coming in for the score. And they just, but then Aaron Kirchhoff trying to keep Delta close, muscles in from 1 yard out. But Jasper had one play that Delta just couldn't stop as Brian Lewis scores again for the Wildcats in the 3rd quarter. Lewis set the record in 4A for points scored, rushing attempts, and yards in this one. Wildcats claim their first state championship in football after 5 trips to the Dome. 35-20 the final over 6th-ranked Delta. Lynch finished 12 of 21 for 201 yards and 2 touchdowns. Eagles finish a historical season at 13-2. And in the other state championship games, Northeast Indiana dominated classes 1 and 2A as Southern Wells takes the 1A crown with a 37 win over Perry Central. And in 2A, Bishop Luers nearly flipped last year's score around with their rematch with Mater Dei as the Wildcats lose 57-29. Despite 38 completions, 439 yards, and 3 touchdowns, including 3 state records from quarterback Jake Schiff. Change. In 3A, look at the offensive explosion between Andran and Bishop Chittard. Chittard wins 3-0, and the field goal came in the first half. Ugh. And as you heard, Delta lost to Jasper 35-20. And in the heavyweight division, Ben Davis destroyed Valpo 35-16, thanks to 118 yards rushing and 2 picks from high school football do-it-yourselfer James Banks. And from the ranks of high school football, we segue to, supposedly higher level. I don't know, but Coach Jim Mora threw a temper tantrum after the horse got trampled 41-20 by the Niners on Sunday. Come on, Coach, it wasn't that bad, was it?
We gave them the friggin' game. In my opinion, that sucked. You can't turn the ball over 5 times like that. Holy crap, I don't know who the hell we think we are when we do something like that. Unbelievable. 5 turnovers.
And in Monday Night Football, with the Tampa Bay Bucks struggling in a season that started with playoff talk, now is not the time to face the red-hot Rams. But nevertheless, the schedule deems it so. And at 4-5, Tony Dungy's squad needs to squander as many points as possible against the NFC's #1 defense and hope Kurt Warner makes a few mistakes along the way. The Rams sit happily atop the NFC West at 8-1 right now. And right now, the Rams are heading towards 9-1 as they lead the Bucks 3-0 in the second quarter. That's a look at sports.
All right, thanks,
Tom.
Tom.
Yep. And Milan will have your wake-up weather when we return. Stay tuned.
So, Milan, how about that weather tomorrow?
Well, for tonight, it's going to be rainy out there. Look at that, a low of 48 degrees with our wind southeast at 10 miles per hour. For tomorrow, the rain will continue with the high of 58 and our winds northwest at 10 miles per hour. And look at that 3-day, Wednesday and Thursday rain, but Friday we will clear up and be at 54 degrees.
All right.
Thanks a lot,
Thanks,
Milan.
Milan.
And thanks for joining us at NewsCenter at 9:30. I'm Chad Welling.
And I'm Casey Cavalt. NewsCenter 43 is an official CNN Student Bureau. Be sure to tune in tomorrow for NewsCenter at 5:30. Good night.